It is UFC 311 going down this weekend. Couple fights for championships at the top, but on the undercard, couple very interesting fights that I am very intrigued by. So here are, what are we, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 fights or fighters to watch for UFC 311. We will start with a fight. We are not going very far from the main event. We are looking at the co-main event. Yuri Prochazka taking on Jamal Hill. There's been some interesting trash talk going on in this one as the two debate whose loss to the champion was worse. So that's something. But I do think that we are getting to a point where there's going to be a new era, I think, at 205 pounds. And really, the Pereira era, what was not anticipated, right? Like this guy got beat up by Israel Adesanya and had made his way up the ranks, and it was cool that he got a title shot for a second, and now he's going up to 205, and oh my god, he's awesome. Okay, like it didn't fully come out of nowhere. We knew this guy was a talented dude, but for a little bit, the once glamour division of the Ultimate Fighting Championship was kind of stuck in the mud a little bit, and that allowed Prochazka and Jamal Hill to work their way to the top. And now you have a couple of guys who have, I think, pretty obviously established that they're not on the champion's level, but are still pretty high up in terms of the rest of the story, that if Pereira does move up to the heavyweight division here in 2025 permanently and leaves that title vacated, these are two guys who are going to be right in line for title shots. Both have held championships before, and I think both will have an opportunity to fight for a shiny thing here again. So I think this is a very important fight for both fighters. And again, Trash Talk's been a lot of fun going along with it. Up next, we have Beneil Dariush, a guy who, anytime he is fighting, he is going to make it on the fighters to watch. I have thoroughly enjoyed following his career, but now we are getting to a point where we are getting close to the end of it. He is 35 years old, coming off of back-to-back losses. Now, those back-to-back losses against Arman Tsarukyan, who's fighting for a championship this weekend, and Charles Oliveira, who fought for a championship recently. Those are two very, very good fighters. And now for Beneil Dariush, at 35 years old, he has not fought for a championship. If there is going to be one last run in there, it has to start this weekend as he takes on Renato Moicano. Again, 35 years old. Moicano, though, is on a run. He's won 4 fights in a row. And so maybe I should have put this as just a fight in general, but for Dariush specifically, he has been so close for so long, and it just hasn't really got there. And now it does seem like that is just fading out of his grasp, and we will see what he can get to it. It has to start with a win this weekend. If this is it. If he loses, then any hopes of a championship are gone. And for Moicano now, this is... I was going to say it's a big step up. From St. Denis, Jalen Turner, Drew Dober, and Brad Riddle. It's close to a step up anyway. But this is a very important fight for both of these fighters. As you have Dariush, who got so close, but the best run of his career looks like it's going to come up a fight or two short of a championship. Moicano is currently in the best run of his career. Can he get to that next level this weekend? So a very intriguing fight there at 155 pounds. A couple other fighters to focus on here. Payton Talbott. He's fighting in the bantamweight division against Ronnie Barcelos this weekend. Talbott, I think there's some intrigue here. He's 26 years old, out of Vegas. He is undefeated right now, just 9-0, but coming off of a 19-second win at UFC 303, and an early second-round knockout at Ultimate Fight Night back in 2024. The guy is 3-0 in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, coming off of Dana White's Contender Series. He has finished all 3 fights that he has had in the UFC. Former King of the Cage, amateur bantamweight champion. This is a guy who, I don't know if top prospect or anything like that, but this is a guy who I think could make a little bit of noise here and could be setting himself up for a pretty strong 2025 as he enters the octagon. So I think Payton is someone to watch for in the bantamweight division, and someone to watch for certainly at UFC 311. Also on this one, we have Ailin Perez as she takes on Carol Rosa this weekend. Perez is a 30-year-old Argentinian who, again, talking about Moicano before, this is the best run of her career. She starts it with a win over Ashley Evans-Smith back in mid-2023 and has now won 4 fights in a row after losing her UFC debut. And so this is a fighter who's on a bit of a run. And right now, you have basically a women's division as a whole in the UFC, kind of looking for some people to break through. Perez could be someone who kind of breaks through here. So some intrigue in this fight. And the last one is in the heavyweight division. It's Jailton Almeida against Sergey Spivak. Spivak going from main eventing a fight night to undercard and very far down on the undercard on a pay-per-view against Almeida. The reason I have this on here is it's heavyweight and you can go on a bit of a run pretty quickly in the heavyweight division. And Almeida, 33 years old, he's lost to Curtis Blades, but he's beat a couple good guys, right? He's beat Rosenstruck, he's beat Romanov. There are some good wins on that resume. Excuse me. For Spivak, it just has never really clicked. But again, he beat Marcin Tybura, he beat Derek Lewis, but he's lost Ton Aspinall and Cyril Gahn. So it's a couple of guys who, when they get as high as they can, it just seems to run out of steam for them. So a pretty big fight to kind of keep both these guys relevant in the heavyweight division, which again, you're never too far from relevancy at heavyweight. So those are some of the fighters to watch at UFC 311. Let's now look at the WWE. Also, hi Deeds. Thank you for stopping by here today.